This tutorial is the general overview of Express Business Valuation, or EBV. It will cover the basics of using the program. When the program opens, you'll see the home screen. The home screen allows you to do things like open analysis files, reports, and view help. This tutorial is going to walk you through the sample project in the program. We encourage you to watch all of the movies incorporated in the program because each one will help you better understand how to use a specific part of the program. If you purchase the optional Business Valuation Report Writer, you'll see the Report Writer movies. If you only purchase EBV, you'll see the Quick Report Writer movie options instead. The program is organized into 3 working tabs plus 2 non-functioning tabs. The Home tab, as we already said, allows you to access commonly used tasks quickly. The Analysis tab is where you perform your valuation. The Report tab is where you create your written report based on the valuation. The Workbook and Library tabs have no function in EBV. Let's get started and open the sample. Select Review a Sample Analysis, and on the right we'll click on the sample project to open it. Notice that the tab automatically switches to the Analysis tab with the file that you opened in view. Take a look at getting around the Analysis tab. Notice across the top are menus and toolbars, and there's a navigator on the left. The navigator will allow you to go through all the schedules in the program. Select an area that you're interested in and you'll see all the subschedules below. Notice that if you click another main area, the one above it collapses. This makes it easier to focus on just the schedules that you're looking for. However, if you want to configure the navigator to behave in a different way, select the Configure button and you can either view the navigator as an explorer or a tree. If you select Tree, you'll notice that it looks much more like Microsoft Explorer. You can also turn Automatic Collapse on and off. For those of you that want to see the entire tree while you're navigating through the program, select Manual and notice that as you open up another section, the prior one does not automatically collapse. However, for this overview, we're going to set the default to Automatic. A quick way to find a schedule that you're looking for is to use the Search button. For example, if you want to find where all the RMA schedules are in the program, type in RMA in the Find box. Select Find Now, and you'll see all of the schedules that contain RMA. You can click on any schedule name and see that schedule in the right-hand pane. Sometimes you want to hide the navigator so that you can see more of the data input screen. Select the Hide Navigator button and the navigator will collapse. Select the button again and it will reappear. If you click on one of the navigator sections that's not a schedule itself, you'll see a detailed list of all the schedules off to the right. You can view this as a table of contents. You can click on any one of these schedules and it will bring that schedule up into the view. The Analysis section has a number of menus. The first one allows you to create new files, open files, and print files. Remember, you can create new files right from the Analysis tab. You don't have to use the home screen. If you want to create a new Analysis Valuation project, just select New, Analysis, and your new project will be created. To open a file, choose Open an Analysis File. Close obviously closes the file. Save saves the file, and Save As gives you a duplicate file using another name. Page Setup works exactly like Excel. Print allows you to print a current sheet or multiple sheets. A most recently used file list is here as well to very quickly get to files that you most recently opened. The Edit menu allows you to edit the sheet name. The sheet name is the name of the sheet that gets printed. If you want to change the name of the sheet as it prints out, change it here. One of the most powerful features of the program is the ability to edit the underlying spreadsheets directly in Excel. This allows you to switch from the program interface to the Excel interface, which you're very familiar with. One word of caution: although you can edit all the formulas, formats, and underlying spreadsheets, do not change the structure of the financial statements. You can edit the formats, underlines, fonts, dollar signs, etc., but don't change the structure and don't use copy or cut or paste, because if you inadvertently do something wrong, you'll disrupt the integrity of the financial statements and it will be very hard to recover. Outside of the financial statements, we encourage you to go in and change the structure if you'd like to. You can put in footnotes, change the formulas. Just be aware it's a complicated spreadsheet with a lot of links. So make sure that you understand what you're doing before you do it. When you select the Edit in Excel button, you'll see Excel showing the exact same schedule as when you were looking at it in the program. When Excel appears, you can take a look at formulas, you can change formats, or customize any part of the schedule. Notice that there are some rows and columns that the program uses. Anything to the left or above the green column or row is out of bounds for making changes by the user. For more details on Edit in Excel, see the Edit in Excel video. When you're ready to return to the program, select the Return button. The View button will allow you to turn the Navigator button on and off, just as you did with the little triangle button. The Database menu gives you access to all of the databases that feed into the program. You can actually download them into the specific section of the program that's appropriate by using these menus. Notice on the Navigator that there's a Data section. You can select any one of the schedules that contains data, and you'll notice that there's a button at the top that allows you to download that database into the schedule. The Tools Options menu allows you to set the options for the program. The Restore function will allow you to restore formulas used in the program itself. For example, the blue number is a formula that you can overwrite. If you type over the number and want to get back to the original formula, highlight the cells you want to restore and go to the Tools Restore button. The program will restore your selection back to its default state. In this way, you can easily overwrite blue numbers and restore the formulas back to their original state. The Help menu gives you access to a number of areas of help about the program. The most comprehensive portion of help is the help file itself. We encourage you to review it. There's a number of web links for the Value Source homepage, Value Source Technical Support, and Key Value Data Home. And if you ever want to see what version your program's in, select the About dialog box and you can see the version information. Let's quickly review the toolbar icons. The first icon is New. This New button starts a new analysis or a new report depending upon which tab you're working under. The next icon opens an existing project or report. The third icon saves your project or report. The next one is Print and is used to print a single schedule under the Analysis tab or a report under the Report tab. Edit directly in Excel will open the project in Excel to edit and changes to edit directly in Word for the same function under the Report tab. The forward and backward buttons on the toolbar are really handy. For example, if you're in a page where there's a button that has the assumptions on it, you can go to the assumptions for that schedule and then select the back button to take you right back from where you were. You can use the forward button as well to walk you through the last number of schedules that you visited. The last toolbar button is Restore. This allows you to restore the formulas in the schedule. It's exactly the same as the Tools Restore function. There are many schedules in the program that have taskbar buttons. We've already talked about the Title button. It allows you to change the title of the schedule. If there's a database available in the schedule, there will be a button to allow you to download the data into the schedule. Any schedule that's affected by assumptions has an Assumptions button to take you to the assumptions for that schedule. Once again, if you select the Assumptions button, select the Back button to take you back to the previous schedule. There are different taskbar buttons for every schedule. We encourage you the first couple of times that you open the program to experiment with each one of these taskbar buttons to better understand what they do. Now that we know the general layout of the program, let's walk through the steps of performing evaluation. Evaluation is done under the Analysis tab, or as you can think of the Analysis tab as the spreadsheet. The Report tab is considered the Word document. Start at the top of the Navigator and work your way down. The first stop on the Navigator panel is Project Assumptions. These are the highest level assumptions for the project. For example, the kind of entity you're valuing, the fiscal period, begin and end dates, the methods you want to consider in your valuation, and whether you want to apply discounts to each method or to the final conclusion of value schedule. So once you've finished completing the main project assumptions, go to the General Data section, then the Financial Statements section. And you'll notice there's another set of assumptions for each dealing with the choices for that particular section of the valuation. There are assumptions throughout the program. Make sure you're familiar with all the options because they affect how the program calculates and displays data. And make sure each set of assumptions is in sync with the assumptions already made. For example, if you choose to apply discounts at the individual method level, you'll find the options grayed out in the conclusion of value section, no matter how they're set. To set the conclusion of value options correctly, you'll want to first choose conclusion of value under the project assumptions. Then blank out those choices under the conclusion of value before you go back and set the project assumptions button back to individual methods. Once you've filled in assumptions for setup, go to the business data. This is general information about the business, and then go down the list. Now remember, you don't have to fill out every schedule, just the ones that you're interested in. However, under setup, you'll probably want to fill out most of these. Notice that there are charts in the schedules as well. The charts have a chart icon to the left, and the spreadsheets have a little grid. Let's move to the financial statements header. Under the assumptions, there are a number of assumptions that affect the financial statements. If you have a partial period, there are a number of ways to complete the annualization. There's a check mark that will allow you to include cost of goods sold and inventory in the financial statements. You can also select to post your tax adjustments as a dollar amount or as a percentage. The chart of accounts is limited in EBV. You cannot add or delete accounts in the balance sheet. For accounts with zero balances, choose to hide these accounts from within the Edit in Excel feature. Now is a good time to review where you input data in EBV. Numbers that you input have a gray background. Numbers that are calculated are shown in a blue font. Remember, if you started with a formula in a cell, you can restore that formula if you overwrite it with a number. Once you finish the balance sheet, you can move to the income statement. You can input up to 6 years of historical information. The income statement can be expanded from 1 optional account up to 20 optional accounts. You'll want to consider using subtotals of amounts if your input document has more than 20 optional accounts in it. Once you're done filling out the income statement, you can move to the Adjustments section. To edit the adjustments on the balance sheet, post each account adjustment and then enter the liquidation percentage if you want to produce an asset approach using liquidated values. In the income statement section, notice that pre-tax historic income is listed for each year on the top of the schedule. Adjustments are posted for each year as to the individual account that's adjusted, and the bottom line for each year will provide you with the adjusted net income after tax. Once you're finished making your adjustments, you can review the adjusted balance sheets and the adjusted income statements. Remember to use the Show Hide commands from the Edit in Excel view to hide any columns or rows that have zero amounts in them. Let's move to the Financial Analysis section of the program. Remember to update the assumptions. Most of the analysis happens automatically. In other words, it's all pre-calculated. If you have RMA or IRS data or custom comparisons you want to input, you can use those to create custom comparisons. Let's review a couple of these statements. Here are the historic common size statements. You can also take a look at the common size adjusted statements, historic statements, and adjusted income statements. You can also take a look at financial statement trends. There are schedules for analysis of margins and return on equity. There's also a benefit stream analysis, RMA comparisons, IRS comparisons, and custom comparisons. And remember, for all the schedules that you've got data available for, you'll see a taskbar button that allows you to download that data directly rather than manually input it. Now let's move to the heart of the program, the appraisal section. There are a number of subsections. Premiums and discounts allow you to set up premiums and discounts before you actually perform your valuation. Once again, remember to take a look at the assumptions at the beginning of each section. Under Assets and Liabilities, there are a number of schedules that allow you to calculate adjusted non-operating assets and excess and non-operating assets. Under the asset approaches, a going concern book value and liquidation book value are presented. In historic value, you can see the indicated value page calculates the selected book value. And remember, you can overwrite any number in blue. Also remember, any number in black just requires going to the Edit in Excel button, and you have access to the entire spreadsheet. The next section is the income approach. There are some general assumptions to deal with under each method. Let's walk through a couple of the income methods. For capitalization of earnings, remember, once again, you want to select assumptions and select all the assumptions that are appropriate. Under economic stream, you'll want to be able to weight the benefit for the capitalization of earnings. Under sustainable growth, you'll be able to set the terminal growth rate specific to your target company. Under capitalization rate, you'll be able to get SBBI data and show or hide cash flow calculations and pre-tax calculations. The indicated value page shows the indicated value. Once again, it's in blue, so it can be overwritten. An enhancement to this version of the program is the discounted cash flows model. This allows you, after filling out some general assumptions, to put in a few projection assumptions, and then you select the projected benefit streams, a discount rate is determined, and an indicated value is calculated. Capitalization of excess earnings works very much like capitalization of earnings, so we're not going to go into it in detail here. The market approach is broken down into three sections: market data, industry multiples, and subject company transactions. Many of the commercial data sources are available as an add-on product to the program. Let's review how BizComps works. Select the BizComps options, fill out the market data assumptions, then go to the data screen. Since this is available as an add-on product, you can select the Get BizComps data, which will load the BizComps program and allow you to download the data directly into the program. After downloading the data, you want to select the Market Data BizComps SDE view. You can weight the BizComps Seller's Discretionary Cash Flow. Under Indicated Value, you'll see the revenue multiple and the Seller's Discretionary Earnings multiple. All the other sections under Other Data sources function the same way. Once you're through with the appraisal process, you can move to the Conclusion of Value section. Under the Assumptions for Conclusions of Value, you'll see a number of options. These will be grayed out if under the General Project Assumptions you've selected to apply premiums and discounts to the method level rather than the Conclusion of Value level. If you would have chosen to apply these at the Conclusion of Value, these would be enabled here. The Conclusion of Value schedule allows you to review all the conclusions. You can weight each method and show your selected conclusion of value. The next section is the deal structure, which allows you to build a seller's statement and a buyer's statement for the transaction. The next section is sanity check. This will give you a hypothetical terms of sale schedule, which will build a debt service schedule. You can look at post-sale cash flows, payback period, and internal rate of return. The what-if performance schedule allows you to determine income under various adjusted operating scenarios. We finished the valuation, but there are a couple of sections left on the Navigator. The first is Custom Worksheets. Custom Worksheets will allow you to input your own data into a section of the program. The easiest way to do this is to select the Custom Worksheets, select Edit in Excel, and then you can use Excel to directly input any calculated amounts that you want. The final section of the program is the Data section on the Navigator. This shows you where all the databases download into the schedules in the program. For example, if you selected SBBI, you'll see that the SBBI data is used in a number of schedules. You can select one of the schedules and see exactly where it's downloaded. From here, you can also select to Get the SBBI data button. It will download the data directly into that schedule. This is the end of the general overview tutorial.